team! Welcome back to part 2 of Farm Shitulator 25. Say what now? Anyway, in part 1 I covered some of the flaws in this game, shall we say, which are suitably annoying. And I want to cover another one which is super annoying, and it's to do with this thing. And not just this thing, and this thing, which is carrots, which is a new crop, and the same will go for parsnips. So these in-ground things that you need. So if you want to get carrots or parsnips out of the ground, you need to go to the vegetable harvesters, and you'll see here, and red beets. Although I think you can you do red beets with the regular beet harvester? Yeah, you can do red beets with a beet harvester, which you know, it's been around for a while, so that's not. But this is new. Carrots and parsnips is new. So we've got some new tech, and here's some of the new tech that looks with it. And this is the most expensive bit of new tech, the flashiest bit of new tech, which has, I believe, the widest working width, which is 3 meters. The rest of them are like 0.8 meters. Oh my gosh, you're going to be there forever. So this is the flashiest bit of kit, the DeWolf. That we have here, and we're out here with the DeWolf. Now, let's have a look. Ye olde DeWolf. Now, you will notice there's no tank, right? Because if there was a tank, it would say here there would be a tank capacity. You see in this one's got a tank capacity of 5.5 cubic meters. It's not a lot, but it is there. This, no tank. So when you get in the machine, you can see that there's no tank allocation on the right hand side. So this is a direct harvester, and direct harvesters require run along bins, right? So I have my tractor over here, and I've got a run along bin over in my farm. So I'm going to zip my way out here, minding the curb. Just about, and minding my glass houses, and I'm going to head over this way to my farm where there's a bin, and I'm going to pick up said bin. So when you are doing this is a two-person job, as it were, right? You cannot in any circumstances do this alone. There is no bin on the machine, so one of you needs to drive this bin. Now I will say, and I'm assuming that they have figured this, is that there's no, although I have crop damage on, I cannot damage these crops. So that's fine. So now I think with this one the bin is on the right hand side. So I think I have to drive on the right hand side of the machine, which is fine. So we need to get ready. So we need to get ready here. So for the duration of this harvest, I'm going to have to follow this guy, right? So first things first, let's get him started. So we need an AI worker. So we're going to set the AI worker. We're going to assume that everything else is hunky-dory. For some reason, we're still in the wrong machine. I want to be in this machine. We're going to set the AI worker, which is fine. We... what happened here? Right, it's having a... Right, have you recognized that we have a field? Yes, we've recognized there's a field, right? 3 meter width. I'd love to do no headlands, but we've already been through why that's apparently impossible. Straight up and down is fine. I would like it to work the headlands. Yes, I would like it to start with the headlands. Yeah, okay. So I'll hit circle to hire the worker. And I better get into my tractor. So there we are, my tractor. So now I'm gonna have to follow him, right? So that's fine. I need to set my cruise control to, I think it's about 11. It's very twitchy about how close you have to be. So that's fine. Let's get in here. Right. Oh, you're off. Right, so he's eventually off. It looks like 11's too fast. Looks like maybe even 9 is too fast. It's gone back up to 12. It's now down at 8. Right, okay. Right, there we go. 9. We're going at 9. We'll make it 8 because we seem to be going a bit fast. Right? So this is run along harvesting, and you can see that we're harvesting. There's a blob in the way. What's going on? We are harvesting. So we're trucking on down here, and we're doing our own harvesting thing. Seems like 8 was a little bit too quick, and 7's a little bit too slow. Maybe because we're running downhill? You know what would be nice? Just saying, quality of life improve. What would be nice is when you're doing this, if the pace of the chasing vehicle automatically followed the harvesting vehicle, because then we could definitely do something, which would be great, which would be easy. So you see there, we're picking up our carrots and we're doing okay, and we're coming to the end of our field, which is great. And now we're gonna have to do something, because we have to let the harvester turn around. So where are you going? You're going that way? Okay, I'll go this way. I'll go this way. So he's gonna turn around. Oh no, wait, he's not gonna turn around, is he? Because he's gonna do that. He's gonna do that. What are you doing to my crops? So he's just now creating a great big hole in my field. Where's my crops going? Because I'm the only person with the bin here. So he's just trashed my crops, and he's still trashing my crops, and he's making a really great big hole. Now that's exactly the same as the rice guy did. You remember the rice guy over there? He did that, carved a hole, did a whole bunch of stuff. Now at least the rice guy had the benefit of actually being able to pick up my crops. This guy's just making a mess. You're just making a mess of my crops. What are you doing? Look at the state of that. He's going to do that at every single corner. At every single corner, he is going to do that. He is going to trash a chunk of my crops to do that. Now, if I stop him, that's not stopping him. I didn't press that button. If I stop him... Oh no, I've got to get into the other truck. That's the thing. Let's get into the vehicle and stop him. For heaven's sake, stop him. There's nothing in there. Where's all that crop gone? I've lost all that crop. He's taken all that and got rid of it. Well, thanks, but no freaking thanks, if you don't mind. So now I have to go back here, and let's say I do that. So let's say I have to stop the sucker when I get to the bottom, and I go, right, you start there. Now that's fine, you start there, and what I'll do is I'll meet you so that you're not trashing my crops. Oi! Where you going? So now he's... What are you doing? Right, I now need to chase up to this guy, because I don't know what he's doing. Right, leave my crops alone. Get out of my field, you flaming galah. Right, are we good? Can we go now? Well, we can go now. He's going to do this every corner. Every corner of the field we get to, we're going to do this. It's the same with anything that you need run along bins with. And it's the same whether it's your field or whether it's a contract field. Now, if you know contracts, and you do know contracts, right? Because you're a savvy people, and you know what contracts are about. Contracts, you have to collect a certain amount of harvest. So this guy monkeying around in the corner of the field and doing all of this bollocks in the corner of the field, do you know what he does? What he can do is he can stop you from completing a contract, because you can't deliver all of the stuff. He's just gonna trash a whole load of crop for no purpose whatsoever. That's what AI workers do for you. Isn't that convenient? What a convenient way to make AI work. This is really, in my view, you can't have these crops, and that machine in particular. That machine in particular is a freaking problem. So I'm going to stop him, and I'm going to talk about that. Now, the issue is run along harvesting. That's all we're talking about here. So these are all general harvesters, and they're all fine. They come with tanks full of stuff. You're used to these. You can see these. They fill up the top. They have a capacity. You know, they're all great. They do all the usual grain crop stuff, and that's all tickety boo. Forage harvesters are better because forest harvesters usually you can have a hitch. So you can see there's a hitch on the back of this. Maybe you can see, but there is a hitch on the back of this. So with a forage harvester, you can carry a bin, right? And the pipe aims into the bin. And that's that. And you can have long pipes and short pipes, black pipes and white pipes or whatever you want. But your forage harvesters are pretty good. They have a little bit of capacity themselves, but not a vast amount, which is also fine. Grassland stuff is what grassland stuff is, so you don't need to worry about that. When you get down here, it gets perhaps a little bit more interesting. So some of these are fine because they already have capacity. So this has capacity, that has capacity, that has capacity. The Ropa Tiger has capacity, and this one has capacity, 45 cubes. So that's all great and good. That's just headers. This thing, however, does not. So you're going to have the same issue with this thing. This thing is like a monster. It's a huge, great big thing. It's great. It covers a massive area. But it requires a run-along harvester. Run-along bin. So whenever this thing is doing its bits and pieces, well, you can imagine. It has a working width of 10 meters. When he turns around, holy heck balls, he's going to make a crazy mess of your crop. Just madness, absolute madness. Potato tech is fine because all the potato stuff has some capacity or other, including the big sucker. So that's all well and good. These veggie harvesters, this is interesting. So I've got these sorted. So we've seen this one now, pain in the bum. With this one, 5.5 cubes, so very small capacity, which is just annoying. You then have these two suckers. So I have them outside the shop. So here they are. This is the small one, and this is the larger one. Now the small one ain't got nothing, and it hasn't got a hitch. So this is the back of the machine here, right? So the way this is the back of the machine here, but there's no hitch, so you can't hitch this up with a trailer. For a start, it loads on the side, so it doesn't offload. So this is where you clip in. So you clip in here, and it runs alongside of the tractor, and it loads out the side. No, you need a bin. You need a bin for that. I mean, the benefit you have is it's so small, it's probably only going to make a little bit of a mess, so you probably get away with that one. This one is an interesting one because this one actually has a bin, which is great, which you then drop. So it's like baling. So this runs along, takes it up, drops it in the bin. When the bin is full, you tip the bin off, and then you go back later with something which would ideally be an auto loader, but isn't, and you end up with bins of stuff. But you're gonna have to pick these up individually because the auto loader. Hello. So that's the sound of rain. Rain. I couldn't make this up. There's a storm somewhere. I think we've got a problem with the weather. Anyway, that one drops off in a bin. The other one we've seen just absolutely doesn't work. Spinach is fine. And green beans are fine, small capacity, peas are fine, etc. But it really, really does mess with your ability to actually play the game. Sugarcane, for example, your old sugarcane harvester is awesome. You know why your old sugarcane is awesome? Because it comes with a trailer hitch on the back. It's not hard if you're going to have this to have that capacity. And while we're at it, for heavens above sake, with this thing, the AI worker still can't perform the other job. Is there no way we can get the AI worker to partner up alongside this and follow us up and down? Apparently not. We cannot do that. That is too hard. This is annoying, and this really shits over the fact that you have these crops that you then cannot actually do, which is truly, truly, truly annoying. And it annoys me endlessly, right? AI frickin' workers, I tell you. Alright, we're back here at Hutan Pantai because I wanted you to have a look at something else which is a problem with AI workers. I swear there's only two more things that are wrong with AI workers. Well, there's two more things I want to talk about that are wrong with AI workers. And then I'll stop. I need to stop. I need to move. This might run over into three parts. There's still so many things that are broken, or non-functional, or things that we should have that we don't have by now and don't have. That I can't believe it's like. Anyway, this is the brittle. This field is going to be limed, which is great. We've got an AI worker. The brittle does have a huge span, so you have the thing here. You can see there's something wonky going on, but otherwise, yeah, okay. Work the headlands. Let's have him do the headlands. Let's have him do lime application. That's fine. We're going to let him go, and we're going to let him do his thing, and we're going to come back and see what he's done in a minute or two. But here's my little truck. So when you start off, this is the starting farm. And you have a couple of trucks and machines lined up and everything else, etc., etc. So here you are, and you have your truck, and you say to yourself, right, I need to get some things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this guy off to the store. So if you want to go off to the store, sorry, you have to go to the map. Saving, thank you. So you go to the map, and it doesn't actually show you that there's a vehicle here because I'm in it, but there is. So if I hit R3, it says this is the vehicle I'm in. It's a crate job. Okay, the crate jobs is really freaking clunky. I did that again. I did that last time, and I swore when I came here to do this I wouldn't do it again, and I still did it. So here we are. So we want him to go to over here. And what you need to do, although it doesn't say that anywhere, is you go to the destination, and again, doesn't say it anywhere, but you need to press R3. You need to press X, then you need to press R3. Pick a target location. Doesn't say that. Doesn't say how you do that. I had to go online to figure this out. It's like, is it really hard? And we got plenty of room on the bottom to say, oh, how do you do this job? You click R3, then there's a rotation. You click R3 again, then the box appears, and the start job is over on the far left, and you hit square. Target is unreachable? Is it? All you have to do is reverse that and go down there. Oh no. No. Reverse. No, they don't know how to reverse. They don't know how to reverse. If you want to set them up for a job, you're gonna have to turn them around. Because they don't know how to do that, and then you're going to have to go and do it again. You're going to say, well, I want you to go there, and I want you to go over here, and I'm going to hit X again over here. Sorry, you need to go to destination, and I think we can we hit X here, and we can say that, and we'll say that, and we'll say that, and he's right there, and he's thinking about it. It says driving to target. Yes, there he goes. He's finally off. He's off and away. And he'll go to his target, and that's all well and good, and that's fine, etc. So away he goes. But it's so irritating that they're like that. Now, while our lime guy, how's he doing over here? Okay, we're getting there. He's missed a little bit there. He's going to cover that over. Oh. Maybe he's not. Right. This is another AI worker that was doing stuff, and while this is AI worker related, it's really not, because this is just texture. This is the new cloud texture, and this looks dreadful. This just looks dreadful. I'm gonna let this guy carry on, if he remembers. I don't know what's going on with the texture. Why is it like that? It looks very odd and very peculiar and very unnecessary, like chocolate cake that someone has dragged their fork through, which is, I just don't think we need it. We just don't need it. Anyway, we'll go back and we'll have a look at our lime guy, and this is what he's doing with our field. So my point here is, and I did warn you, and I did say, and it was kind of foreshadowing, there are lots of blobby-shaped fields, and especially on the Hutan Pantai map. And the issue that I have with the AI workers is that they don't necessarily know how to get to all around the edges of the field in the blobby maps. Now he might be lucky we get this one here, which is really good, but I've done this before and he doesn't know how to finish the map, finish the field. He'll do it wrong. Same with seeding. Same with a couple of other things. They're just not doing the job properly. I mean, he's actually, is he done? He should have limed over that side of the field. So I've given him a job to do some liming, and this is currently what he's done for me. What are you doing? Are you going to go back and do that triangle? Well, that would be a good start. I really hope that you're going to finish that off. We wait with bated breath. Well, you missed a bit. What are you... Now you're finishing off? Why are you finishing off? What happened to the headland? What is he doing? What is happening? What is he doing? They waste so much time and money. Now the point is that AI workers in this game, and the reason I've spent so long complaining about AI workers, and he's done. This is him done. Apparently, this is him done. So, what? This is good. This is okay. This could be better if you'd actually limed it. Honestly, it's infuriating because you do rely on AI workers a lot, and you rely on AI workers a lot for a vast amount of reasons, right? Which is just crazy. Anyway, I'm done talking about it. They're shit. They don't work. There's bombers in the sky. The graphics is getting worse. Honestly, we've got square-shaped birds approaching us. I'm done with AI workers. Right. One of the things they've added is these chaps. We have this guy here. I can start a conversation with him.
If this isn't a successful farmer standing in front of me, you can call me a goat and feed me some oat. I just noticed your bank account. Listen, don't you...
I would like you to stop. Just stop. So, I don't know. It's kind of like they're meant to be. There's several of them. You'll find them all over the map. There's two here. There's this guy as well over here. Hello, that's Ben, I think. They're meant to be like interactive help things. That they can explain to you what needs doing. You can even get tasks from them. The problem being they won't tell you what the task is. And they won't tell you how hard it is, and they won't tell you how much it costs. They'll just tell you they've got you to do something, and you'll go, what do you need help with? You go, I need help with plowing. You go, yeah, okay, and it might be an absolutely dreadful job. And you go, actually, that sucks. I don't want to do that at all. So they're shit. They're a pain in the bum, and I try and stay away from them because they absolutely do not help me in the slightest whatsoever, and I don't want to get involved with it. That's dangerous there, I just realized, because there's nothing stopping that stuff falling off that balcony. Just so you know. Anyway, those guys are absolute shit too. Right, we're back on Sri Lanka because I want to talk about something else, which is in relation to the finances, right? And we've been down here and we've had a look at finances and statistics. Now, I have a vast amount of finances. Why do I have a vast amount of finances? Because I've turned government subsidies on, right? But I did honestly, genuinely play this game for about 3 years without subsidies on. And it is as hard to make money in Farm Sim 25 as it was in Farm Sim 22. And I'm not playing it on I don't think I'm playing it on particularly difficult. I have added in loads of stuff that you do have to do. So maybe I am playing it on a fairly advanced game setting. But I did say this, I really felt it was a very unbalanced game. As I said to you before, you have a look at the price of a tractor, and a tractor is like 200,000, 300,000 piece of kit. Now that costs an awful lot of money to buy, and you need to recoup the cost of that as a capital expense, and as well as you still need to pay for petrol, and you still need to pay for maintenance, and you probably need to pay for customization features because you probably want different kinds of wheel setups for different things, and you want everything else. So that $200,000 or $150,000 tractor accumulates a whole bunch of other costs on top of that, and that might be, I don't know, it might be 5 to 10 grand a year or something, depending on what you're using it for and how many improvements and changes you want to make for it, increase the engine size, and so on and so forth. So you've still got to pay for that on top of everything else. You've got to pay for all the upkeep of your farm. You've got to pay to buy your crops. You've got to pay to do all these bits and pieces. So it would be great if a field of product could make you a decent amount of money. Now, this field here, field 46, which is now carrots, wasn't always carrots. This field used to be wheat. So I harvested that wheat and I waited until the calendar told me the best time to sell wheat, which turned out to be whenever. It's down here, prices. So this nasty menu that you have to ruin your D-pad to get to the bottom of. So the best price for wheat was sometime in December. So I waited till December and I sold my wheat for the price that I got for my wheat. And the reason that I'm using this field is because if you have a look at this field is just a little over a hectare. It's a 1.26 size hectare plot of land, but the active field size is just over a hectare, 1.03. So out of a hectare of wheat, which is in good condition. I spent my time, going through the making sure it was all everything else, and I took that wheat and I drove it down to the grain store, which was doing not a super deal, but it was doing an okay deal. It was the best on the map, and when I sold that entire wheat, I got $11,000. Now, I went and I worked it out in the shop, and the cost of maintaining the field is nearly $10,000. And I say that, what do you mean by maintaining the field, LJ? Well, what I mean is, right, so I go out there and I cultivate my field. I'm not even talking about plowing. And I pick the cheapest thing here and I say, yeah, okay, I'm going to do that. And then I have to lease that. That's like $800. So that's $800 for that, right? Then I need to go out and I need to pick up the stones. So I go and I get the cheapest stone picker here, which is this one, and I lease that. Well, that's nearly 3,000 right there if I want to do stones. And then when I'm done with stones, I might need to roll it. So then I go out and I pick the cheapest roller there is, and I lease that, and that's 2,000. You see where I'm going? You see where I'm going. The costs just mount up, and the benefit is just not enough. Now, I don't really care whether that's reflective of real life prices of bulk wheat or whatever the situation is, but this is a starting farm and you start with literally sweet fuck all, and with things like that it is really, really hard to initially make money because you've got so much work to do, so many things to spend. You've got to wait a year to harvest, then after that year you've maybe got to wait another few months to sell it. You take it, you sell it, and you just about break even, which is just dreadful. That it's just crap, and it screws up the game because it's forcing you down a particular gameplay path that I want to talk to you about. Now, while we're on that, the gameplay path that is forcing you down is contracts, because you need to then spend your time doing contracts to make money. And that's fine, right? There's times when there's nothing to do, so you jump in and you make a bit of money. You can also get AI workers doing things if you want. Now, they still can't do grass work. They can cut grass, they can ted grass, but they cannot pick it up with a baler. And they cannot pick bales up with a wrapper. So that's still shit. I mean, really? We haven't got to the stage, but that wouldn't matter, because do you remember Farm Sim 22? I do, because I went back and had a look at it. You used to get contracts, which were complex, multi-level contracts, which actually gave you all of the gear. The field was fully grown, full of grass, and it said, "Here's a $20,000 contract, and here's all the gear. I want you to go out and harvest my field of grass and make silage and take it, and then leave it, or make hay and sell it at the animal dealer, or make straw and take it somewhere else." You had those contracts are now gone. They don't exist. All you got is bitty shit contracts. It's like, that one's fine. Big fields, you're going to be there a while. That's okay. Whatever. So that's gone. And AI really can't help you with these. So these are intense contracts. They've made them dumber, which is great. And then you have to go and do your stuff. Some of them are reasonably pointless, and still reasonably pointless. This one, fertilizing, $532. If you hire the gear, your reward is reduced by 519. I mean, this is just bollocks. Really? You're making, what are you making? What are you making there? You're making $13? That's just bullshit. And if you hire a worker, forget about it. So it's just, it's stuff like that. That's fine. You got harvesting stuff, which is fine, as long as you steer clear of anything involving, the carrot machine. That one you can kind of do, but you have to bear in mind that it's going to be problematic. You got a variety of other ones here, that are just the basic stuff. Rock removal, you have to do yourself. You basically go out with that rock breaker and you smash up some rocks. Spraying is spraying, that's fine. Stone picking is stone picking. Wood transport, I mean, it's up to you. I can't do it. I've tried. I can't make those bloody machines work. I've tried, so I can't do it. You can't get a contractor to do it. You can't get an AI worker to do it. Really, we can't get AI workers to do some simple shit? What the hell is going on? Why is this so bollocks? Why are these not like more involved contracts? I want you to go out and I want you to do 3 or 4 things. And I'm going to give you a bunch of money. What happened to that? Why have they got dumber? Fuck's sake. I mean, it's just bollocks. The ploughing ones, that's fine. It takes a while, but they carry on and they do it, and they generally don't fuck it up. Most of the other ones is generally okay. The rest of the stuff, harvesting, you can do. Some of it's fine, some of it's easy. You still make a little bit of crop on the side. I'll tell you which doesn't work. What absolutely doesn't work is weeding. I've tried it on several occasions. Weeding doesn't work. Or hoeing. For some reason, the weeding and hoeing ones are broken. You cannot complete the task. It's an absolute bollock. It's a shame there's none here. I would show you one, but there isn't one here. You just have to take my word for it. It's just, that doesn't work either. So contracts got dumber, and they're still broken, and there's still things that the AI worker can't do as part of the contract. What's the point of all this? Well, the point of all this somewhat extended rant is it's sending you down the pathway of production chains, because you can make an awful lot more money sitting on your sweet ass doing nothing. So then it's not farm simulator, it's production chain manager, because what you're doing is, this is easy. They made this easy. This is the easiest part of the game. Get yourself a greenhouse, get a water bowser, drive a water bowser back and forward, which is another thing, but we'll get to that in construction. Fill up your water bowser, set it to production, set it to distributing, buy yourself a preserved food factory, do all the bits and pieces, set your preserved food stuff to selling, and just sit back and wait for it, make money, because that's all it does, just sits and wait and gets money, which is just bollocks. You could obviously go and pick it up yourself, but as I've said to you very much before, where are they? The auto-loading trailers. I think they're in here. So these are the Lizard Logistics auto-loading trailers. You have this multi-loader, which I think fits on the front of a tractor. Yeah, it's got it's got a 3-point hitch to it. So you can take that, and it apparently loads up the things that it loads up, right? All those essentially loose products is what they are. So all of those loose products, various bits and pieces, and then you've got these two, and these are always confusing. So this, you need the big bag trailer to load up. Although it shows boxes, you need that to load up pallets and things. And the pallet trailer loads up stuff from bags. So this has always been confusing to me that these things don't actually seem to make sense because the pallet trailer loads up from bags and the big bag trailer loads up from pallets. Fuck's sake. And they're broken. I tried the big bag trailer. This one I think works fine, but I didn't need it. But experiences may vary. This one, I tried taking it to my preserved food factory, and it used to be that they had a zone that when you got the trailer close enough, it would auto pick up. And it was down the side, I think, or possibly at the rear. It doesn't seem to work now. It's really fucking twitchy. You can try and give it a go if you want, but take it from me, this autoloader pack is really freaking sketchy. So it really destroys the whole production chains because you have to do everything using a forklift and a flat deck. And that's just, it's so tedious. So it's another bit of the game that they've just destroyed, which is just bonkers. It's like the whole process has just been ruined by what they have tried to do, and I honestly freaking don't know why they even bothered to do it. It is mental. It's just absolutely mental, and it drives me mental into the process. Now, we're sort of getting into the tail end of things, and there are some things at the tail end which are more sort of quality of life stuff than they're like absolute deal breakers. So, with the calendar, for example, it's got all the various bits and pieces that it has in a calendar, and it tells you all these things and all this stuff. And I've said to you that you might then be sitting there trying to figure out, once you've been up and down here, and tried to figure out which price you're looking at, and then you've gone back to the calendar and gone, oh yeah, and then I need to do that. You're doing all of this planning and everything else. Do you know what's missing? The ability to set notifications in the calendar. What would be a really fucking good idea would be if you've got all this stuff going on that you could scroll over to September and put in a note saying, I don't know, plant wheat. And then when September came around, you would get a notification saying, plant wheat. And then you would go, oh shit, yeah, I meant to do that. It's really important for selling shit because everything's varied, right? And you're like, you might have stuff in supply and go, when sunflowers and February comes and goes, and by April you're like, oh shit, and you need to wait another year. Sell sunflowers would be a good one, right? There's just no functionality to the calendar. It's all passive. This is just an image. This is a diagram. This hasn't got any useful freaking shit in terms of functionality. I scroll up and down and I have a look at it, and that's it. Where's the functionality? I can't do anything. I can't plot anything. I can't filter things in and out. It just is what it freaking is, which is just tedious. Ah! It's just drive you freaking crazy. Which is the same with this thing, which we've said going up and down and going up and down and absolute bollocks. Oh, it just really is freaking irksome. While we're talking about irksome, now this is the chickens that you start off with. Well, you don't start off with chickens, but you start off with the chicken coop. I bought the chickens, and chickens lay eggs, obviously, right? And these are my eggs. I've got a pallet of eggs. After 3 years, I've got 1 pallet of eggs. 3 years? I'm sorry. There's something wrong with that production chain. I know what it is. It's fucked. Right. I'm over here at my greenhouse production chain, which I did talk about, and we're getting into some things. There's some construction things. They're a bit when you're trying to construct things in, they're a bit clunky. And there's problems with that. And then when you delete them, it doesn't remember what's underneath. So then you have to anyway. It's annoying. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But so this requires water, which is fine. I've got a water bowser there, and I have to drive a little. Look at this. I have to drive a little water tanker up here to do this again and again and again. Day of the Damned happening over there. Which is really annoying because in construction there's no water connection. I've got containers, I got tools, I can put in a weather station, I can put in a charging station, I can put in a weighing station, I can put in another weighing station, I can put in some base, but I can't put in a water connection. Why in the hell, if it's a production chain thing, why can't I just have connect to water? Why is it that hard? You know, and it could be cost dependent. You could say, well, okay, the water pipes are going to run probably under the footpath, right? So the services generally run under the footpath. They don't want them under the road because it's a pain in the ass when one breaks and you have to dig up the road. So they're under the footpath. So all I want to do is connect my tank to the footpath water supply. And that might be a few $100, you say. Whereas if I have my glass houses out here in the middle of diddly fuck nowhere, and you go, well, Jesus, you got all this way to go to connect. That might be an awful lot more water. How about that for a freaking idea? Look at this bullseye here. It reminds me of the RAF. I say, Ginger, that's bash, jolly on bad luck. Yeah, why can't I do that? The barns come with water plumbed in, no matter where you frickin' put them. But the glass houses don't? What the fucking hell is going on? Why not? Why does it not? What's the problem with that? And another thing. And another thing. While we're talking about maps and contracts, sorry, I digress. I did get a little sidetracked. We've got all these maps, which is really, really good, and all this stuff. Do you know what we don't have? Oh, well, I'll tell you what we don't have for a start. We don't have grapes. None of these are grapes. There's no vineyards. There's no jobs to do with grapes. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Be nice to have something to do with grapes. Olives? No. No olives. We don't want to do any of those. No olives. Poplar? No. No poplar. None of that. Nothing come through from that. Everything else, God, yes, obviously, in relation to everything else. Obviously not oilseed radish, because that's really ours. But grapes, olive, and poplar? No. No, we don't do those. Tell you what else we don't do. Glass houses, greenhouses, anything else. Production supply chains. There's no production supply contracts. There's no contracts which is, I say, young man, what I need you to do is I need you to go over to this location over here and pick up 25 bales of fermented silage and drive it up here to the biogas plant and drop it off for me, please. Could you do that? You go, no, none of that. Absolutely none of that. Anything else? You know, take some stuff from a grain silo and transport it over there. Some transport stuff? No. What about multifaceted production stuff? Like you got the dairy, and the dairy needs multiple products, and it's like, I need to make 100 cakes. I need you to bring me X amount of milk, X amount of this, X amount of... No, there's none of that. There's none of that. There's none of that intelligent shit. It's all bollocks. It's just... bollocks! It's driving me mad, driving me absolutely nuts. Oh, over here at Hutan Pantai, because I wanted to talk about one of the last things that's kind of annoying. And again, because for me this is meant to be a feature, I'm really freaking surprised at how bad it is. To be fair, so this this looks like what it is because this is what it is. So let's say that, so I've got rice fields over there. Let's say I want to build a rice paddy. Now, you will have seen from my Sri Lanka map that building a rice paddy is not quite as easy as you think. The ground needs to be completely level. So I've had a go at leveling this space out. And then what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to build a field here. Now, if you need to go to, where is it? It's down here. You need to go to construction. So you go to construction here and you have a look at this. Now, it's not, there's no real snapping, which is a bit annoying. The terrain adjustments are down here at the bottom. So if you want to level something, you have to use the tools that you've got at your disposal. It's quite sensitive. It's very sensitive. It's not very easy to adjust. Now, I've done lots of this on other maps like City Skylines. I've done it in Transport Fever 2. They are much easier to solve than this. For whatever reason, I don't know. So, and it only gives you half the details. So change brush strength is up. It's also up and down. And it for some reason, it's like a different color in the middle. Instead of just being all the same color, And I don't know what that means. Does that mean it's more intense in the middle? Presumably, if you're using colorblind mode, you don't see this green and red. You've got the brush shape, brush size. Now, the nice thing would be if this was a square, if you could rotate it. Guess what you can't do? You can't fucking rotate it, obviously. That would be too much like something good to do. So instead of being able to like rotate it and have nice sharp edges, no, you can't do that. If it just so happens to be on the grid, yeah, okay, fine, you can do that. But if you want anything else, now you're shit out of luck. You're absolutely shit out of luck. So this has now done the thing that it has done, and I don't know. I now don't know what is field or not. So if I go to the map and I have a look, it seems to be like the field has been deleted. Now, but there's a thing there. And you know what would be useful? What would be really freaking useful? Guess what? A field delete tool. That you could just go to a field and it says enter demolition mode and you hit triangle and over here and it says select field and you select the field and it says delete field and you say yes and it says are you sure? And you say yes and it deletes the field because obviously deleting the field it would be a big deal if you fucked it up. You can delete a building. Delete the building? Yeah, sure. Delete a field? No. Wait, isn't this a farm simulator with fields in it? Yes. Would it be good to delete fields? Yes. Well, shall we do that? Oh, fuck no, it's too hard. Oh, great. Well, then let's not do that. Let's have them do something else instead. Right? So, there you go. Now then, it took me a while to figure out how you make fields. Because I was like, well, where the fuck is it? And where is it that you find fields, etc., etc., etc. So, it turns out that if you go looking for it, it's not here. It's down here in cultivation. So it's with grapevines and oh shit. It's with grapevines and olives, and it's down here, which is rice fields. So if you're used to these, you have to. There's a post. Hello, post. And you put your grapevine and you draw a line and it pulls out a post and you make grapes. And that's absolutely tickety boo. If you want to do olives, you get a little blob. And you're like, yeah, okay, there's a blob. And you pull your blob out and you get a line. And that's great. And then you go to rice. And you... What the fuck? There's nothing there. There's no marker. There's nothing. Where the fuck am we starting? I don't have any indicator where my field is starting. So I'm going to guess and go, well, I don't know. There? Too close. Ah, there's a line. Oh, I got lucky. I got pretty lucky, right? We don't want the humpy bit. We want the flat bit. So we can see the line and the line is there. We've kind of come over here. So I think we can probably do that. And we can probably do that. And we can probably do that. And I think it's kind of getting a bit sketchy down here by the looks. And we'll do that. And we'll do that. Right. It's done it for me, apparently. Finish. It collides with another object. Okay. Remove the last corner with triangle. So have I got the maximum amount of corners? Is that the issue? Right. I think that might be it. So I got too many corners. So you can't just do whatever you want. You run out of corners. Finish. Oh, look what it does. Isn't that nice? It makes this piece of shit, which is the problem that I showed you before. So you end up with this adjustment. So no matter how much I thought I was doing a good job, you've then got to go back and fix all this. I'm a lot better at it now than I was, but holy heck, does it have to be so hard? I mean, I just... Ah! And what is this? I now need to go and repaint and I really do all this shit. It just makes the construction of rice fields unnecessarily complicated. You know, and then you got to go back and do all these things and change all these things. And this is way better than some of the other efforts that I have tried, which, you know, you have seen that I need to go through. So, I mean, the whole construction thing, it's just, it's too hard. It's unnecessarily hard. And then when you're trying to place objects as well, so you go up here and you pick a shed and you try and place something, you know, there's limits to what you can do and there's limits to where you can put it. and we don't have fine tuning, and you could put the toggle snapping off. This is snapping on. I don't know what we're snapping to. That's apparently. Oh, it's saying that the snapping is on. Well, that's fine. So apparently there's a grid underneath. Of course, not everything aligns to the grid. This looks like it aligns with the grid. Um, so there are some things that help a little. There's R3, which is customization. Oh, you can put little. Well, you can put a solar panel on top if you want, which is fine. Um, but then you're gonna have to paint it in, and it goes bonk, right? And it does this whole thing where it makes this whole shenanigan, and it does this whole stuff. That was exactly what happened to me in FS22 in my farmhouse. Do you remember my farmhouse? And of course, you've got Mr. Blobby here, with with the graphics display going on. It's all too hard. It's too hard. It's unnecessarily hard. It's 2025, for crying out loud. It is 2025. These are issues that were well known before this came out 3 years ago, 4 years ago. This was well known issues that they simply haven't fixed, and they haven't introduced quality of life improvements. They haven't introduced any of that shit. Which brings me to the last quality of life improvement that I want to talk about, and then I'm done, and I'm getting out of here, and I'm going to do something which is actually probably more enjoyable. And that is the radio. So I have turned the radio off. And if I turn the radio on, that's fine, but it'll probably be too loud, and I'll probably get a strike on my channel because it's probably copyrighted by somebody somewhere, and YouTube will pick it up and go, copyright strike. Thank you very muchly. So anyway, you have this radio, and this radio is playing, and it has a number of channels to it. I'm sure you've seen it. You can go and have a look. It's got a variety of channels to it. And the issue with the radio is, if I go and have a look at the settings, where's the settings? Is it general? Down here in the radio, you have radio off, you have radio on. Do I have radio volume? I might be able to turn it way down. The radio volume is currently at, let's put it at 10, so that we can at least see, perhaps. I'll see how I go. This could end up getting me in trouble. So we'll turn it on. Right. So there is a bit of a radio playing here. It's actually quite loud. So there you go. You can if you're in a vehicle, you can toggle the radio, right? And you have these radio stations, and you can go through the radio stations, and you can do whatever, right? And you get this stuff coming through on the channels and all the rest of it, and that's well and good. And I'm trying to not get a strike, so I'm trying to do this quickly so that the game doesn't know what's going on, or so that YouTube doesn't know what's going on. Ah, wrong setting, wrong setting. So there we go. Right. Guess what you can't do? You can't skip a song. You can't. So when you start a channel, it always plays the same songs in order in the same playlist, and you can't skip a song. You don't like that song, you can't skip it. And if you go back round again, it's still the same song. It's still a pain in the ass. Maybe if you leave it long enough or save and go back, it's a different song. 9 times out of 10, it just goes back to the start again. You just end up listening to the same shit you didn't want to listen to before, which is another thing. While you're doing all this contract work and all this farming and everything else, and you're driving around and etc., there's a reason why the radio is there. The reason the radio is there is because there's a lot of time doing repetitive things. You know what would be a really excellent idea? How about you can make your own playlists? I don't know. Are there games that do that? Like Death Stranding 2? Maybe. Maybe you could make your own playlist. I mean... far out. Imagine you could import your own playlists. Jesus, imagine that. That would be amazing. No, you're forced to listen to the same shit day in, day out, while you're watching the AI workers fuck everything up, waiting on a decent contract that you can't make money from, getting pissed off by the fact you can't build what you want, put it where you want, and do what you want, because you're left with all this crap that's going on. Honestly. Farm Simulator 25 is not my favorite game. You have probably gathered. Not only is it not my favorite game, It is really a buggy mess.